looking at a clinical sample of one of my ADD cases. This is a 15-year-old male who's been diagnosed with inattentive attention deficit disorder, or what we call ADD. The first brain map was taken after about 18 sessions of doing neurofeedback with me. And then we introduced him to NRF1, NRF2, and Axio. And he took this regimen for about 12 days before we did a second brain map. So get here to for those of you who aren't aware of what a brain map is, let me give you just a real short course. I promise I won't get deep in statistics or anything like that here. So we see this legend down here where it goes from dark blue, light blue, green, yellow, orange, and red. These are based on standard deviations. How far away from normal is something? So there's over 5,000 people in the normative database. And so we can look at that, and by using what's called a Gaussian distribution, or a bell curve, if you will, we can see where the standard deviations are. So don't worry about that. That's kind of a mathematical thing. When we see green in the brain maps, or taking the squiggly lines and converting them to what we know as a quantitative EEG, a QEEG, the green means it's normal EEG activity. If it's yellow or orange, we know that it's 2 standard deviations above normal. If it's red, we know that it's 3 standard deviations above normal. Now, the other side of the scale, we have 2 standard deviations below normal, which is light blue, and dark blue is 3 standard deviations below normal. Now, a lot of people will equate that with good and bad, but that's not necessarily the case. It really depends on the frequencies and so forth. So here is our guy after 18 sessions of neurofeedback. And you don't have to be a neuroscientist to begin to interpret this. You look at the red, and we know that that's 3 standard deviations above normal. This is his thinking activity, his beta activity. And after taking this for 12 days, we did another brain map, and all of the green, if you remember the Gaussian distribution, the green means it's normal EEG. So I was pretty astounded. In 23 years of doing this, I had never, ever seen this. And so it was just amazing to me. This color up here, you may be wondering about that, but that's his ADD up there, okay? One of the key components to this, as I reasoned it out, and I'll tell you here in just a second, when we look at coherence, how the body processes energy and information. And so we look at his coherence before, and all the red and blue. That's not good, basically. I won't take time to explain what that actually means, but it's not good. So after he'd been on the NRF1, NRF2, and Axio for 12 days, we see this. So when there are very few lines or no lines at all, it is comparing his demographics, male, female, left, right hand, age, to the normative database, saying that this is in the normal range. Now, when I looked at this, I was truly, truly amazed, because when I started thinking, how is this possible, I had to go to a quantum physics view of this. And that means that we have 600 million billion cells in our body. And how that functions, or it needs to be a dynamic organ. So the cells that we have has to be dynamically engaged, and coherence is a very important part of that. So this, it began to explain to me, and I'll just kind of keep it fairly shallow here, and that is that when I saw all of this, it told me that the coherence was taking place, the changes were taking place at a cellular, molecular level based on quantum physics and how our cells and our organs function. So that's all we need to know now. And you can see a very dramatic difference from what it was to 12 days later. How is that physically possible? Only if there is a synergistic effect that's taking place between the cells in the body. So the NRF1, the NRF2, and the Axio have helped to open up all of the centers and bring them into the normal range, so they're functioning in that normal range. All right, so let's look at his brain map side by side. This is the before, this is the after. And again, you don't have to be a neuroscientist to figure this out. You can see that there is a dramatic change that happened there. So this is his beta activity, his thinking activity in the normal range. So all of those things are really incredible. And all I can say is I'm astounded by this, you know, and I use all of the products ever since I got on them, and I think they are just fantastic. I feel great, you know, and when I have a lot of work to do and I'm processing brain maps and so forth, I'll drink some of my Axio just so that it opens up. And I feel that. I can't find any words to say what it feels like, but it feels like your brain goes from just a normal size to the energy and information about 5 times greater. So it's pulling in all of this energy and information from the morphogenetic field. And I won't take time to explain what that is, but you can look it up.